It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, the 6th day of December 2023, coming to you from the lovely Ocho Rios, Jamaica. It's been a rainy day this morning, but a gentleman was just here and said it's really hot outside, so I am planning on going ashore. You can tell I've got a sweatshirt on, the air conditioner. It's just I freeze. So I'm back where I was in the Atrium area, and they're getting ready to start a program at 11 o'clock. I hope you guys can hear me. All right, to take care of business today, the headlines today, the top story is a tropical cyclone forces itinerary change. Also today, Carnival hikes specialty dining prices. The Norwegian Encore has some itinerary changes. The new Disney ships receives its iconic funnels. And some noteworthy achievement from Valetta. That and a lot more here at 11 o'clock on Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Today, folks, is National Gazpacho Day. Not my favorite. I don't like cold soups. And that's one that's served cold. But, I mean, it's a mixed vegetable kind of soup. But it's served cold. I mean, it's okay. I don't totally dislike it, but I probably won't go out and try it. All right, now we got a message from the bridge. They're in the middle of their drill, which Norwegian is the only cruise line I think that does drills like this anymore. But they still do theirs once a week. So anyway, if you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. Anytime you're listening via one of the podcasts, you can always access the podcast. You can always access the video feed. In the description of the podcast, there's always a link so you can hop over. The last couple days, folks, probably because the Wi-Fi signal on the ship is a bit iffy. Anywhere else other than right here where I am. This seems to be by far the best Wi-Fi signal on the ship, which is why I'm putting up with the noise over here in the atrium area. So I'm trying to give you the best product I can. But as far as the podcast goes, I've had tremendous difficulty uploading the podcast. The last 2 days, the podcast has not gotten up, actually loaded until the next morning. That's not good. So I'm working to try to correct that. I'll, again, today, try to get the podcast up on time. So my apologies for those of you that may have been watching when I was unable to do that. If you haven't done so already, please smash the like button. That helps the channel out. Also, if you haven't subscribed, let me give you an invitation to hit that subscribe button. The bell notification will tell you anytime I go live or when a new video is up. So, all right, getting on with the top story of the day, folks. If I can do things right without screwing it up, since I've had enough difficulty otherwise. So, if the picture does, in fact, come up as there. All right, Quantum of the Seas. It's one of my favorite ships. Boy, they've had some problems here lately. That was supposed to have departed Brisbane, Australia this morning on a 6-night cruise. to top ports in Queensland. Yesterday, the booked guests received an email notification of a dramatic itinerary change. The cruise was to have first enjoyed a day at sea, then visit Arley Beach, Ukai's Knob, and Willis Island over the next 3 days. After a final day at sea, the ship's supposed to return to Brisbane on Tuesday, December the 12th. Now, every single scheduled port of call has been canceled, and Quantum of the Seas will instead have a day at sea, an overnight visit in Sydney, and 2 additional days at sea before returning to Brisbane. The departure and arrival times in Brisbane has remained unchanged. The ship will be in Sydney from 9 a.m. Friday until until 6 p.m. on Saturday. Guests should note that the Quantum of the Seas will be anchored rather than docking, meaning that tender boats will be used to ferry guests ashore. While Sydney has plenty of space to accommodate the size of Quantum of the Seas, 2 other vessels are already scheduled for the port: Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas and Seabourn Odyssey. So berth space is limited. On Saturday, Celebrity Cruises, Celebrity Edge will be joining Quantum of the Seas. So basically, folks, the people got on the ship or got to find out that everything had changed and there are no ports of call but one. And that's due to it's all weather related. A tropical cyclone is forecast to hit along that entire coastal region. So they got to keep the ship and the passengers and crew as safe as possible. That prompted all of those changes. All right, I'll be back with a couple more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, guys, the next story today is from our friends over at Carnival. And again, this is, I hate to say it this way, but this kind of sucks. With virtually no notice, effective this week, several specialty restaurants on Carnival ships have increased their prices. Depending on the venue, it would be as low as $1 more per guest or as high as $50 more per guest for the chef's table. So here's the prices as they stand this week on Carnival ships. The steakhouse has gone from $48 to $49. That's a 2% increase. Rudy's Sea Grill has gone from $48 to $49, 2%. That's okay. Gigi's Asian Kitchen has gone from $18 to $24. That's a 33% increase. Cucina del Capitano has gone from $18 to $24, a 33% increase. Bonsai Teppanyaki Lunch, 9% increase from $35 to $38. And Bonsai Teppanyaki Dinner from $38 to $42, that's 11%. And the Chef's Table Experience, $80 to $99. For the old price, it's going to $99 to $150, which is a 52% increase. Carnival did not provide guests any advance notice, so there was nothing as a realm of possibilities of booking before the price increase. No, they just slammed it on everybody. Not the best way of doing things, Carnival. All right, the Norwegian Encore has changed some itineraries on a couple cruises. Guests booked on the January 28th and February 4th departures of Norwegian Encore, both 7-night cruises, have received notification of slight itinerary changes. Each port of call on each cruise has been adjusted, though the changes are somewhat minor. No ports are canceled and the port order remains the same, but the times at every port have been altered, which could impact any short tours passengers may have privately arranged. The reason given for Norwegian Encore's cruise schedule is fuel efficiency. Now, I have some problems with that, guys. The total amount of changes on each of these two cruises is about 75 minutes total. They altered timing on everything from embarkation to debarkation to each port of call, 5 or 10 minutes. So it added up to 75 minutes. How much fuel can you save in 75 minutes? And it's not that you're cutting out the distance, it's that they're able to drop the speed. Well, to do 75 minutes total for a week cruise, how much you're dropping the speed? A half a knot? How much fuel is that going to save? Norwegian, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I could come up with a lot more reasons for you to change port times, but it shouldn't be on every port. I hate the way the cruise lines do this kind of stuff. All of them. They're all guilty. All right, I've never sailed on them. I never talk about them that much. But the next story is from Disney. The construction of Disney Cruise Line's newest ship is continuing a pace at the Meyer Werft shipyard in Papenburg, Germany, where Disney Treasure is receiving her iconic funnels. They've officially been installed at her construction bay and have received a coat of primer paint. It's not yet the bright red it's going to be in time, but they're on, and they've got their first coat of paint. The 4,000 guest ship is scheduled to sail her maiden voyage December 21st of 2024. She will offer 7-night cruises to the Eastern and Western Caribbean from her home port in Port Canaveral. Another ship going to be home porting in Port Canaveral. All right. The final story this morning for our friends on the other side of the pond primarily, and those of you that seem to go on transatlantics all the time. Global Ports Holding, the world's leading cruise port operator, announced a noteworthy advancement in environmental sustainability through the successful implementation of shore power at Valetta Cruise Port, a subsidiary under its umbrella. Viking Saturn achieved a historic milestone by becoming the first cruise vessel to be entirely powered through the onshore power supply at Valetta Cruise Port state-of-the-art facilities. The following day, Viking Venus joined Viking Saturn at Boiler Wharf in the historic port, experiencing simultaneous shore power supply. Both Viking ships were effectively powered through the OPS, marking a significant movement as the inaugural instance of shore-to-ship connectivity within the extensive GPH port network. Congratulations to Global Ports Holding and the folks at Valetta, Malta. That's awesome that you can have two major ships there at the same time on shore power. Good move. Very good move. All right, that's actually going to wrap up the news portion of the day. Let's see who's in the chat room today, giving me a hard time or ignoring me completely. There's Mike. Mike says, good morning to everyone. Did you get yesterday's port charges refunded? I did not. They said, no, it doesn't work that way. I tried. I wasn't counting on it, really. Anyway, because I was still at that port, just because I was not in port. Those charges are for the ship to be there, not for me to be there. So, anyway, I tried. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hi, Kenneth. There's Joanne. Howdy from a cloudy and cold Pennsylvania. We're represented well in Pennsylvania. That's good to know. snow showers happening. Well, there's not snow showers in Jamaica. I can promise you that. And that suits me just fine. There's Hot Air Tom. Hello from Panama City. Turnaround day. That means Hot Air Tom has to walk backwards to Teppanyaki from his cruise quarters. No, the ship's turning around and taking him back home. Private accommodations for Hot Air Tom on a boat. Right back to his Richmond headquarters. Of course, I'm lying as usual. There's Dennis. Hi, Dennis. I was talking about you at dinner again last night. I would have made a fuss, too, for the port fee refunded. I asked. I didn't make that much of a fuss. But yeah, I did request it, and they said, no. Doesn't work that way. Tom, is it not a full transit? Yeah, I think it's a full transit, and they turn it around and go back through the canal and then back. I think. I'm not sure. There's Steve out in Kentucky. Hi, Steve. Dennis, it's a full transit. We're back to back and seeing the full canal twice. Very good. Fantastic. Is there a forward observation lounge? Hot Air says yes. We have an aft balcony, which is a great view of the locks. There's Katie. She's at lunchtime. Glad you're back at work, Katie. I know you're not glad to be back at work. You'd rather be on a boat. But you bounce back quickly, my dear. That's good. There's Emily. Hello, Emily. Dennis says, buffet or main dining room for me? Well, yesterday's breakfast was so good, so I went back to the main dining room for my breakfast club again today. And they didn't have it. I was going to have it again, the huevos rancheros. And I said, we change the menu every day. I said, well, it's been eggs Benedict every day. Well, that stays on there all the time, but everything else changes. So today they had the guacamole egg wrap or something like that. I said, okay, I'll try. So I had that and eggs Benedict. So I didn't starve, but I would have done that huevos rancheros again. That was so good. That's the best breakfast I've ever had on a cruise ship. All right. Emily asks, is Katie doing better? There's Robert. Good morning, Robert. I got your message. And sorry we missed you for a couple days, but glad you're back with us. Tom, do you feel the waves a lot being in the aft of the ship? Oh, I can tell you that. No. Not any different than anywhere else on the ship to me. I'm in an aft balcony. I'm not a balcony. I'm in an aft cabin again now. And it just feels the same to me. Of course, now I'm on deck 15 also, which is high up. But, yeah, I don't feel anything. I felt very little on this ship, as a matter of fact. Now, we haven't been in any stormy weather or particularly rough seas. But I have to look out the window to see if we're moving or not. Dennis says the Disney Treasure is the sister ship to the Wish. Awful design. The signature fully wraparound promenade deck was eliminated and the midship lifts were removed. Yeah, I noticed looking at that. I did see those changes. And this has got some features though that are kind of new. It's more like a Carnival ship on on some of the stuff for the kids. I don't know. I gotta see the ship for. Of course, I need to do a Disney cruise just so I say I've done one. Fun fact: the Disney Wish was designed by someone who had never been on a cruise before, which she admitted in a live interview. Oh, my goodness. I'm really not surprised because I've seen some ships, well, especially with accessibility issues. I've seen some ships that obviously the designers have no idea what it's like to be in a wheelchair or on a scooter. So Emily says, where are you sitting? I am sitting on my chair. I am in the atrium. Let's see if I can do this. I hope this doesn't blank everybody out. That's the atrium over there, and they got some kind of like a Wii kind of game where people can play stuff. And I'm over here against the wall. Now, the straight through the wall is the coffee shop. Over this shoulder, that way, is the Atrium Bar. So I was able to get a Diet Coke. No, this doesn't have bourbon in it. I don't drink before I do the show. This is just plain old straight Diet Coke that I got from the Atrium Bar. And I've got this one of these little, tables with lounge chairs. It's the right height for me. So I'm also, because I use my phone as a webcam, I can tilt the computer up so my script is not as much glare, because the other way, there goes this thing, but the other way is right out the windows. So you can see, if you can see through there, all tilting things crazy. There we go. That's looking in at Ocherias out the window. So that puts a lot of glare on the screen, and it's a little hard for my old aging eyes to read. But sitting here, I can actually tilt the computer up so the screen is at a little different angle and doesn't have as much glare on it. You're very welcome, Robert. As long as they don't put Garni on top of the Eggs Benedict hollandaise sauce. Yeah, they do it right. The Eggs Benedict is good. I've had no problem with that. But boy, I would have eaten that Huevos Rancheros again. Man, that was good. Robert says, wow, I feel love. We love everybody here, Robert. There's Gretchen. Morning, Gretchen. Gretchen's out in Ohio. He says, cool chili beans. Everybody's talking to Gretchen now. And the atrium. Yeah. All right. So that's that worked pretty good on this flashing the camera around. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up. Tomorrow is a busy day. We're at sea. Tomorrow afternoon at 4:30, my group that I'm hosting will meet before the big group with Bruno and the other solos. And we're going to do a prize drawing. We're giving away a $150 gift certificate to Passion for Cruises to one of our guests for another cruise. They're also running a $100 photo contest. Everybody can post 2 pictures each per day on this cruise of anything. Sunsets. One lady had an awesome shot of lizard yesterday. It's just gorgeous. So those are posted, and then somebody in the office is going to judge them and award a $100 certificate for that. And then hopefully Norwegian is going to kick in some drawing as well. So we're going to do that at 4:30 tomorrow. And then at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we have a meeting. Hopefully we're going to do a group dinner on Friday night. But that one's still up in the air because there's some cross-contamination of specialty dinings in there. So we're having a little trouble getting that scheduled. But yeah, we'll see. If we don't do a group dinner, that's okay, because this group has been together a lot. I mean, we have literally had just fabulous days. And the reason I want to do a group dinner because we all enjoy each other so much. I mean, this is the Joy Cruise was clearly a good cruise, but it wasn't like 100% participation. Ours didn't 100% this time either, but there's a lot more that are doing a lot more together. Does that make sense? So out of there's 30 of us, and probably 25 of the group are with each other multiple times a day, whether it's for the breakfast meeting. I've had as many as 18 for the breakfast meeting. We've had as many as 20 for dinners. There have been groups to go on excursions, constantly meeting one another in the bar or to grab a lunch or to grab, and everybody's always together at dinner one place or another. It's been a really active, fun group. So that part of it's been really good. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from a day at sea. So, as always, guys, smash that thumbs up button. Excuse me. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. And of course, as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. Hopefully, one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. Thanks for being here. See you tomorrow. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was